I'm
Solid, man. You know how it is.
Cool.
Getting ready for this. Spring coming up. We need it.
I know.
Yeah.
It's so cold.
Who you telling?
So thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Bridge ATL. We have another episode with you guys. We've been gone for a little minute, but we're back and we're doing things a little different this time. We're actually going to get into some of the heavy hitting topics that are impacting our community because we want to know that when we're using our platform, we're using it for good. Okay. So one thing that I really want us to get into is talking about how in Black Hollywood, or in Hollywood in general, how Black people are being discriminated against. There's like a double standard where people are being ostracized or blackballed, canceled, all these different things, underpaid. So I really wanted to talk about this because I feel like there's a bigger story where it does impact even our daily lives and different things like that. So I really wanted to know, if you guys know of any experiences that you guys have seen, like in Black Hollywood, that you really want to bring to the table, that you feel like this is an alarm, like people, we need to do something, we need to do better.
Let me see. It's scientifically proven, I feel like, far as just like how the Black actors are treated in Hollywood compared to, certain white actors and everything like that. But, we hear stories like Monique. Monique, she went through her experience of just letting people know like Netflix is not paying her. Also, who we have? Jonathan Majors, he going through his thing. It's the list goes down on and on just far as just how Black Hollywood actors are treated, unfairly, far as just being in their careers, So I don't know. It's just one of those things, and it's been going on forever. Even before there was a Hollywood, it was the simple things. You couldn't talk, you couldn't look, you couldn't whistle, you couldn't eat at certain places, So it's definitely something that's nothing new, but needs to be brought to light and changed.
I think it's mostly a audience thing, right? You got to look at who's watching more movies, who's sitting down and watching television. And I would say, Black people, we do that, but do we do it in the majority? No. So the distribution companies, the producers and everything like that are going to look at that.
Right.
The numbers are going to tell you that, you know what I mean? And it makes it harder for us to get a, livable wage and earning wage if we attempt to go into that industry. You know what I'm saying? We go into the industry where the consumer is not of your color. Of course, you're going to have to work harder to get paid the same as those who are getting paid because their consumers are the same color as them. You know what I'm saying? They're being represented more. You know what I'm saying? And our representation is low because our viewership is low compared to theirs.
Right.
It's unfortunate. That's why we excel in music because most of us listen to music, and a lot of them love our music as well. So.
It's been created by the culture as well. So I think
exactly. And we don't really we have somewhat of a culture in movies and media like that, but it isn't like music, right? And so, the Taraji P. Hensons, the Moniques have to fight extra hard to get that Jennifer Aniston money.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so you gotta look at it like that. You also gotta look at the caliber of movies that you're doing too. Of course, you're going to get typecasted because, like I said, it's already harder for you to get into a role.
Right.
However, it's up to you, depending on what roles you want to take. We all know some people don't take certain movie roles because they feel like it's beneath them or whatever. But there are actors like Nicolas Cage who takes whatever because I'm going to get a check. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to just do what I got to do, even though he's a high-level actor. So, opportunities come. It's up to you to take them. Don't take it for granted, but also at the same time, definitely, test your value. And if it's not working for you, make something then. You know what I mean? So
yeah, to your point, in terms of making something, I think that we can all speak like that's pretty much what Tyler Perry did, right? I want to get into that, but before we do get into how we believe Tyler Perry, he's created this empire. You guys mentioned Monique, and I'm just curious to know, why do you guys think that nobody was taking Monique seriously? Like, I have a theory myself, but I really want to know why you guys think.
I feel like I'll be the first to admit, as soon as we scream out, wolf or just say anything out of the ordinary, we tend to just bash it down. We tend to just avoid it or just make it seem like it's nothing. I think it's a curse that we have. It goes back to, since slavery. The field Negro and the house Negro never got along. They always had their differences because I'm inside, you outside. You have to do certain jobs. I have to do certain jobs. We always tend to bash things down. But when a person says like, look, we need to get off this thing, we need to do that, some agreed, some didn't, And I just feel like when we go against the grain, when we go against the matrix and all of that, it seems to be barbaric. It seems to be out of orbit. It's just not, it's not logical, So it's kind of hard to explain. I just feel like it is a sickness that we have within our culture as far as just, speaking up for ourselves and being like, yo, this is right, this is wrong, so on and so forth.
So in other words, you're saying it's kind of like something so far-fetched was being said, like, what do you mean cancel Netflix?
Right.
And you want us to all jump on board. Mm-hmm. Well, we all got Netflix accounts.
Right.
And if we don't have an account, we on somebody else's account.
Right.
So it's like, what do you mean? And most of what we're watching is coming from Netflix. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like you're saying, how can we subscribe to this idea of canceling them when we know like the bulk of what we're watching is coming from them?
I mean, we don't have like DVDs no more. You know what I'm saying?
We
it's
don't.
all about streams.
Yeah.
Well, certain people do.
I got DVDs.
Facts. Big
I got DVDs.
Big facts. But majority of the new shows, you want to catch up on like a Narcos or a old school show that you used to watch back in the day. You want to catch up on those things, and sometimes Netflix have those things.
No, they do.
We don't have that on DVD, so it's like, man. I mean, I'm not trying to pay $300 for no cable right now. I'd rather just stream. You know what I'm saying?
No, definitely.
So yeah, I mean, it's one of those.
I mean, you gotta look at, once again, the consumer, right? I mean, do y'all actively go out and look for Monique movies and? Do y'all?
Yeah.
Like all the time. Like, yeah, I'm going to go. Monique's on here. I'm going to go watch it. Like, be for real.
So, not necessarily that. But I do know that she has, she can get butts in seats. But I do know, I feel like she was. I think that she was doing smaller things, but it was still bringing people to the theater. It was still bringing people to come see her. Mm-hmm. But that was what my theory is, the same as you. I feel like at the time, I think she may not have necessarily been, she's proven herself. Like, that's because I don't want to take that away from her. She's proven herself. But I think that there was some time where she had some downtime in between her last like big project and when she was like when there was like the Netflix negotiation. And so I feel like that relevancy, she was at a lull at that point, and that's why I think it was not received so much. Is because of the fact that I think if she was in some big blockbusters in that moment, like within a couple of years, like 2 or 3 years, I think people would have been more receptive to her. But I think that it was just kind of like, So yeah,
because I look at it like this, like Octavia Spencer is also, I think she won an Oscar, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay, so, Monique did as well. I think she had this thing where, I need to get paid more. I got an Oscar, right? Okay, what movie you're going to make? Are you going to be in where people are going to get in seats? In my opinion, like I'm going to look at her and be like, okay, what would I want to see Monique in? Mm-hmm. Precious was a very specific thing. You knocked that out the park, no lie. But we didn't expect for you to knock it out the park. You did it anyway. So I think she was in this mindset where if I go into a movie, I need to get paid this much because I got an Oscar. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just off, like, you look at my accolades, look at what I've done. I need to get paid this much. But it's like, are we still looking for you, though? You know what I mean? Not everybody, even though you might get an Oscar, even though you might have all these accolades, we still might not look for you like that. Are y'all going out looking for an Octavia Spencer movie? Maybe not. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see her in there, but are you looking for it? That's what these producers are looking at. Are they looking for you? No matter what you can win, are you the person that they want to see on the screen? You look at The Rock, right? He ain't won nothing. But people are looking for him, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still looking for The Rock. Of all, you know what I'm saying, all races. They still look at Rock and be like, okay, I'm going to go see this movie because Rock on there. Kevin Hart, same thing.
All right, put it like this. Those are men. I'm talking about women.
Even women. So if you want to look at women, what was that girl? Jennifer Lawrence. When she was on the screen, everybody rushed to the movie theaters. You know what I'm saying? Halle Berry, back in the days, even right now, you still gonna look for her. You know what I'm saying? Even after she won the Oscar or before it, you still looking for Halle Berry. There's certain people that you look for that you know people are looking for. There's certain, you know what I'm saying, there's levels. That's where you get paid at. You don't get paid because of the accolades. You get paid because people are looking for you.
Go ahead. I just said, me personally, it's a lot of people in this world, right? It's a lot of people. We may not think we're not looking for a certain actor, but it's people out there that's crazy about Monique. You know, it's people out there crazy, and you got to understand, man. And
how many though?
I can't tell you because there's a lot of people in this world. I can't tell you, but I guarantee you, it's over 1 million people that's still looking for Monique. I guarantee you. You know, all I'm saying is, back in her Def Jam days, bless you. Back in her Def Jam days, back in her early 2000s Parker show. Parkers? Yeah, I mean, she has a fan base of like the real, I would say low. I wouldn't even say low. I would just say she has a real base, like a Cat Williams. You know what I'm saying? Like a Cat Williams fan base type thing. No, go ahead.
Because I'm gonna say, because let's be clear, I don't think the fan base is as expansive as Cat Williams' fan base. However, I get what you're saying. She has a loyal base.
Yeah, like one of those.
That's what you're trying to get at. Yeah. So I think that when we think of her Def Jam days and in the Parker days, that's when TV was actually really funny. Right. I feel like that's when it wasn't watered down. It was really funny.
And it was a real crowd.
Yes,
it was a real audience.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I hate that the Parkers was about a plus size woman chasing after a man. However, I still feel like the show was really funny. Like, I loved that show. And I know she was doing why are you laughing? Crazy. No, I'm serious. I'm so serious. Like, if you think about it psychologically.
But they end up falling in love at the end, right?
No, but like what I'm saying is psychologically, when you see things on TV, if you're watching the idea of a bigger woman chasing after a man, then you start to think like, oh, are plus size women not lovable? Are they not accepted? Like, are they not the first choice? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, to me, I look at it like that. Like, okay, like, I didn't like that, but I loved her in it because I loved she did very well. She's very funny. You know, she had, I remember she had Fat Girls. That movie was good too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, you know, she did really, really good. Like
PHAT, by the way.
PHAT, excuse us. Yeah. Okay. And so I feel like she's done very well and she's proven herself. But I do feel like it was one of those things where it's like, I think it was a lull in between the time that she was asking for what she was asking for in the last time she's done something.
I get.
She demanded more than what she was given after, like I said, after Precious. And that's when the lull started because she felt like she should have got paid more.
And
you don't know what she went through because she did have a rough childhood.
I agree.
You know, of being molested and all of that. But the thing is, it's like, you know, okay, yeah, she did her thing in the early 2000s. She had a low, right? When she came back, she showed out in BMF. She doing her thing in BMF right now.
Oh, she is so good.
You know?
That's what I'm saying, but that's the thing. We're never questioned.
Yeah, she in BMF?
Oh, yes.
Right.
So look, the question is not that
what season 2?
Yes.
She wasn't in the first one, bro.
No, she wasn't.
Okay. I ain't seen the second, so I ain't know she was in there. Okay.
When they came to Atlanta.
Yeah.
But I feel like when that's what I'm saying. She has the talent. She has the ability to sell out and do it. I think that when she was trying to get the money that she was trying to get, I think that the people who were supposed to approve of that money did not believe in her. I think that they were just like, it's been too much time. You know what I mean? But I do think that that's why.
Right.
I think that that's the only reason why. But
I agree.
Again, I do feel like, you know, when we hear someone say, to your point, like, ban Netflix, it's like, whoa. But then when you start to hear other people be like, ban Netflix, or whatever, or any big pharma, big this, whatever, big business, it's like, then we start to be like, okay, maybe, you know, so then there was like maybe a momentum going on where people are like, okay, like I see where she was coming from. Because even with her, like with Taraji, when she was just recently talking about how, you know, she's committed to her craft, she's being underpaid. It's unfortunate because we've been talking about this for years. Women being underpaid, you know, and I mean, I would beg to say it's probably not just women, you know, I think I would go out on a limb to say it may be even Black men in Hollywood that are being underpaid, but specifically women, we've always heard about that, you know? So I think that that's partially why it's like Monique wasn't really being taken serious.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
You know,
I agree.
but have you guys ever like experienced or ever heard anything like in terms of being underpaid and discrimination? Because I remember you just brought up the point, like it goes back to days when people were enslaved, there was discrimination. Like, has there been any experience within your life that you've experienced any discrimination?
Not that I know of. I mean, I would be an idiot if I said, you know, I wouldn't be an idiot, but I would be lying if, you know, I said I experienced like some, you know, Jim Crow type shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean, no. Me personally, no. But I seen it time and time again happen to others.
Yeah.
You know, but no, I never experienced nothing like that. I mean, when I first started working, I made $8 an hour, but who doesn't? Like, far as just fresh out of high school, starting work and everything like that. But no, I just got back from Broward County, and I was in Orlando, and my fiance was pointing out a little thing, but I didn't recognize it. But she said she recognized it, so this is her experience, not mine. You know, we was in line waiting to get on the ride or whatever. It was my, little cousin's birthday. He turned 5. And, we were waiting in line. We were waiting in line for like an hour. Then as soon as we walk into the front line, the lady would be like, stop. Okay, let other people go past type thing. Yeah, because they had a fast pass. You know, we was in the state of line. But I was like, this is...
I hate that fast pass because I'll never get it, but I think I need to get it.
Yeah, I mean, she felt some type of way. She was like, man, I mean, all these people walking in front of us, and we all of a sudden when they see us, they want to stop us and have another line come. I'm like, baby, they paid for the fast pass. This is nothing to it. But maybe she's experienced, it happened time after time again, so maybe she felt some type of way. But other than that, no, I haven't experienced any type of discrimination, anything.
Yeah, which is a good thing.
Right.
That's really good.
Right.
Like, it's... How about you? Have you ever experienced it? And the answer really could be no. Like, it really is not. The answer doesn't always have to be yes, because I have a point that I want to get at to this.
I mean, I've always, growing up from humble beginnings, I was told your value is what you make it. Your homie could be getting paid more than you. That's up to you to determine if you want to do the same work as him, and he gets paid more than you. You know what I'm saying? You can leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta make sure that you show what your value is, and you determine your price for your value. So I never experienced it, because if I ever did, I would immediately leave that situation. Or if I felt like that, like if I felt like I was working harder than what I was getting paid for, I leave that situation. You know what I'm saying? And I make sure I go get my values worth outside. So I never really seen it. I never really seen it for somebody. I mean, I've seen obviously people get do more work than what they're worth. Yeah. But like I said, it's up to you to keep doing that work and not getting paid for it, in my opinion.
Right.
So the reason why I asked is because I remember when I was working, and it was during the pandemic, and we had these large breakouts, like, during the pandemic, of course, we had COVID, but then also we had the George Floyd death as well. And so I was working in corporate America, and we had these large breakout sessions, and everyone was like, okay, like, we basically got dispersed into like, I think maybe a group of like 10, 15 people. And so I remember I was in a group, and I was the only Black person in the group. And I remember they're like, we're doing this because we want to make sure that people are feeling, we want to check in, see how people are feeling, and make sure that you guys are being seen, heard, and felt, and blah, 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 whatever. So I'm just sitting there listening to everybody talk, and I got my camera off. I I think I have my camera on this time. I can't remember. My point is though, no, I have my camera on. And so I remember just like listening and just like, everyone's like, well, I'm trying to sort out my feelings and I just don't know. And I'm just listening. And I remember after I listened, I started talking and I'm like, yeah, I was just listening. And then a white woman jumps on. She's like, yes, Akeisha, I want to know your experience. I want to know what you're going through. I want to know what you are experiencing. And I'm like, okay, so like, first of all, when you put on the spot like that, you almost can feel like you feel uncomfortable because you're just like, you want to know what I'm feeling, right? Okay. So I'm like, she's like, I want to know your story. I want to know what you've gone through, what you've experienced. And I'm like, okay, so first of all, I had to explain to her, I'm like, it's not that my story would ever change your perspective of what it means to be Black in America.
Right.
I said, what you need to do is start off by Googling the impacts that slavery has had on Black people in America.
Right.
And I felt like that was one of the places that I wanted her to start, because it's not that I have had just such a bad experience and I just been beaten, like it's more like a subconscious beating than it is an actual, like, I'm beating you kind of thing. So it was more just like, you have to refer to those things, like see what has been impacted by slavery, how that's been passed down generation to generation. And then you can see and understand the programming that someone may have experienced and how we're fighting against that. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that was really where I was like, I want to start there. I want it to be very clear. But even with that being said, I remember, as we talked about Tyler Perry, watching his story, he was saying that when he was in some of these meetings, he had to kind of play dumb. And certain things he would be like, you know, he would act like, you know, he may downplay the value of something so that he can keep ownership of,
to take that bag.
Yeah, so he can keep ownership of his plays, his playwrights, his characters and things like that. Yeah. And so that's one of those things too that is also like, in terms of people not knowing our true value and what we actually do bring to the table and different things like that. And so that's why I really want to know, like, you talked about how, you know, we may not show up to the theaters, but Tyler Perry, he's created a lot of projects.
His own lane,
He created his own lane. And so what do you think about that when people will say, okay, well, even though whether you like him or you don't like him, someone who's created their own lane, what do you think about something like that?
I think that's what we need to do. I mean, I feel like if you, like I said, once again, you create your own value. I think, you know what I mean? So if you feel like you need to get paid more, you need to do something to ensure that you do get paid more. It's not about waiting for somebody to pay you. You're not entitled to any payment. People are got to understand that. It doesn't matter what you do. You know what I mean? Only you can determine your own value. Tyler Perry's seen that. I can write plays. I can bring people to these seats. I'm going to make my own thing. You know what I'm saying? I think more people need to do that. It needs to happen. And not only just regular media, anything, whether it comes to comic books. Like I said, we talked about this before about Black superheroes. I would prefer we create an original Black superhero than we put a Black person into a white body and then make them that superhero. I want us to make our own superhero. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather see that. Let's see the creativity flow. Let's see what we can make. James Bond, I don't want a Black James Bond. I want a Black person that might be like James Bond, but
a Black Jaquan.
There we go. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. I just want us to create our own, you know what I'm saying, make our own value. You know what I mean? Like that just makes more sense to me.
I
overall.
definitely agree with you on that standpoint, but also, you know, we have to support, you know, even if it's bad. Even if you feel like it's less value or whatever, because let's be real, you know, we so used to having, you know, I don't want to shout out the names, but I'm gonna have to because we support their business so much. We have Gucci, Fendi, all of these things that we buy that's not rotating within the community, right? But if somebody do step out of that lane and be like, look, this is what I'm pushing. This is what it is. This is what, I don't care if it's a keychain. I don't care if it's a pair of socks. I don't care if it's a hat, shirt, pants, whatever. In order for us to continue to build and build and build, whoever creates their own lane needs to support what each and every person does within the community in order for it to grow and be what it is. You know, that's the only way. We can talk about how our value is and everything like that, right? But are you going to take the time out to spend the money that you work hard for to support this other business in order to build him up so we could continue having those Black James Bonds and, you know, them Tyler Perry's that's coming up? Because honestly, when Tyler Perry came out with his thing, with his shows and all of that, with his plays and everything like that, that was purely support. Nobody knew what Madea was at one point in time. Back in the day, who was
Tyler Perry DVDs going crazy?
That's what I'm saying. Like, honestly, like right now, if somebody said, okay, like just think of it right now. And I can only imagine how hard it was back in the day. Imagine, I'm going to this play and I'm old school. This is like what, 2003, 2, whatever. I'm an old school. I have a whole old school mind. So think about the OGs back in the day when they was just like, I'm going to see another Black man in a dress today on the play. Think about it. Think about it. Am I going to support that? Do I want to support that? And this was before social media even came into play.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
So think about it. Yeah. So if that can happen for Tyler Perry just by the simple support, not knowing what you're going to get into, imagine the independent businesses in everything that comes within the culture, whatever, who builds up something, who believes in something, get support.
Correct.
That's all I'm saying.
I don't think the OGs want to go see him, but you know, all the female, you know what I'm saying, all the female audience. There's a lot of females that watch them, obviously. The
that
church
had
members,
husbands, bro.
Church members.
They had little cousins. They had
they pull
kids.
up, you know, they were like,
yeah, right.
That boy, he not dressed. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
But, yeah.
man. It was. I know for a fact that some brothers was like, you know what? Let's just go and support and see what this.
Oh
is.
yeah, definitely, because he was, like I said, he was blown up. I mean, like I said, his DVDs for his plays were going crazy around the neighborhood. Like Tyler Perry, before we seen him on TV, we was like, yo, you got that Tyler Perry? They got the Tyler Perry DVD over there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts.
You feel me? So you know, like I said though, I applaud him for creating his own lane. He was homeless. He said, okay, you know, we don't really have a lot of Black playwrights showing the Black experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm gonna do that. And so that's what he did. Create his own thing. Shout out to him.
So at the end of the day, I just say support y'all, man. Support what you got.
Like you said, keychains, whatever. I think that's important because when you do support somebody who's really into it, they end up creating something that you didn't even expect. It becomes better than what you even bought. Right. And what you bought has more value now than it ever did. You know what I'm saying? So
it's just investing in. It's like investing in a company or something. You know, investing in stocks. So watch it grow.
But you got to start. They got to start too. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, don't wait for somebody to pay you. Go ahead and just start making them. You know what I'm saying? Show them your worth. You feel me? If you feel like you deserve more. Because if that's the case, you're going to be gambling on yourself. But if you gamble, not really a gamble if you really feel like you need to get paid more. You know what I mean? So I trust people who attempt to make their own stuff more than somebody who's waiting for a paycheck. To me. So, you know, Monique Taraji, go ahead, start making your own movies, man. Y'all got pull. You can make a little short film or something. You know what I'm saying? You can definitely come up in any way possible. So go ahead and do that.
I feel like it's easier now because we got apps and everything
it's streaming and everything. You can make a YouTube series and blow up. Look at Issa Rae. That's what she did. You look at what's her name, Quinta Johnson. Oh, I forgot her name. I think it's her name.
Yeah, it's Quintellis. I know you're talking about she's from Abbott. Abbott Elementary.
They came up very humble. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't take much, but actual attempts and true talent. You know what I'm saying? So,
word.
Do you guys think that we tend to, I guess, like grade each other harder, or a little more harsh? Or we kind of like speaking about how Tyler Perry, he said a man in a dress, and it's kind of like, is that one of those things where it's like you're being a little harder on him because he's a man in a dress, or because he's Black and he's created a man in a dress?
In my opinion, you have to, because in this world we know we're already at a disadvantage. So when you have to be harsh and let them. It's like the Romans, right? Like the Romans, when they fought, they knew they had lesser numbers, so they had to train harder, fight harder than whoever else they fought. Because if we train the same as them, we're going to lose. It's more them than it is us. So we have to do better than them. You know what I'm saying? So we have to bring ourselves up harder, and understand things more, and put ourselves on a higher scale anybody else if we want to make it. You know what I'm saying? Because we know it's going to be harder for us to make it in general.
See, so I never really like to subscribe to that philosophy simply because it feels like how you said, you put yourself lower than everyone else to begin with to make yourself
Well, it's not lower. It's just I know we're at a disadvantage. You know what I'm saying?
At a disadvantage or somewhat okay, I'm not here. I'm starting here. So yes, you have to work hard no matter what. But I guess to me, I've never liked saying you're lower than, or you have less than, or you need to do this. Like I always felt like it is how you view yourself, how you decide to show up in the world. And no matter what, if you have an idea, I feel like that's one thing we've never really talked about is if you have an idea, loving on the idea to the point where you can make it become something and you can make money off of it, rather than it being that you have to, which is still working hard, but rather than it being you have to work harder now in corporate America to fit in, or because you have to, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that, I feel like is where it's like, it tends to get a little muddied watered to me, in terms of how do you teach your child that they already off bat, they're less than, or they're lower than, or they're starting out worse than their counterpart. To me, that's partially the problem.
Well, like I said, I would never tell them that we're less than anybody.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I would just say that somebody might have more opportunity than you. You know what I'm saying? And that's just low-key the fact.
They do.
Exactly. So it's like you have to, mindset-wise, you have to go into it understanding that. So what does that mean? You got to shine brighter than anybody else in here. Bar none. You know what I'm saying? Don't just go for the ceiling, reach for the stars. You know what I'm saying? For everything that you do.
Absolutely.
Because there's nothing else, you know what I'm saying? That's the best thing you can do.
Yeah. I think my point is you can teach a child that rather than having to put the first part on it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Go for it no matter what. This is the work ethic you need to have and should have no matter what. But that's it.
Yeah, I'm a little more harsh. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh
gosh.
I'm
definitely be hey, bro.
So look,
you know what it is out here, boy.
Yeah. So look, because I actually, since you're talking about shining bright, I love Drake. He's like a little star to me. I love me some Aubrey. But so I remember when we were talking, as we were talking about the show, when we were in our producer meetings and stuff like that, how there's a question about whether or not Drake is hip hop. Or is he, some other version of whatever, So to me, I'm curious to know y'all thoughts on this because I feel like, because we know that Drake, he's Jewish, he has a white mother and a black father. And I feel like part of me is, I think that maybe the fact that he's biracial, maybe, that there may be a reason why people are questioning whether or not he's hip hop. But I feel like as long as I've known or have heard Drake, I feel like he's been hip hop.
Right.
But I want to know what you guys think about that.
I would say, yes, that's part of the question of how, because his mother's white and his father's black, so of course they gonna put him in the bubble. Like, is he really hip hop? Is he not? I understand it, I get it, but that's bullshit. Because me personally, early Drake, when he first came out, I was like, who the fuck is this dude? Who is him? So I love early Drake. Me personally, I love early Drake. Even now Drake, I feel like he's more in his own lane. And I think that's the beauty of it. Far as him starting off with hip hop, him doing his thing, but then going to that singing phase, going through the singing and rapping phase a little bit, and I blame that on T-Pain. Just because I had never heard a rapper sing and rap at the same time until I seen that, until I seen Pain. And Pain did it the best. So all that to say, is Drake hip hop? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Because for all the youngsters and people coming up in the game now, you got to understand, and I'm stressing this, hip hop is having your own lane. period. Having your own lane. Growing up, you knew who Missy was. You knew who Busta Rhymes sounded like. You knew what Lauryn Hill sounded like. You knew who LL Cool J sounded like. Everybody had their own lane, which is hip hop. That's art. No artwork is the same in the museum. Everything expressed something different. Everything looks different. So Drake, to me personally, y'all could agree. Now I don't give a damn if his mom's is green and his daddy is blue. You know, if you come in the game on the hip hop tip, and you elevate yourself in order to keep up with the time, because music does change.
2024.
You know? So Michael Jackson ain't saying the same. You know, they ain't do stuff the same way. He wasn't always having an afro and doing the same thing. He always wanted better and did more. That's art. G shit. G shit. You don't see him walking around with no Jerry Curl and nothing. Everybody is not the same.
He went too far with his change, but I love him. I love
right. And that's a whole nother story. But all that to say, nothing stays the same. Nothing at all stays the same. In order to elevate, in order to make things better, you have to change and you have to make it do. So all that to say, Drake is hip hop, in my opinion.
I'll simplify it because a lot of people are. So I talked to somebody at work about this, and I shout out to them if they see it. Y'all know who y'all are. We talked about Drake being hip hop, and he was mentioning that how when hip hop kind of came out, it was more about attacking the status quo, right, the system and everything, and not being safe for radio waves and commercial success and stuff like that. And I agree. I think the first hip hop artist that was in the airwaves and everything that was successful was Will Smith.
DJ Jazzy Jeff.
DJ Jazzy Jeff, yeah. They won the first Grammy for hip hop, if I'm not mistaken, and it was safe. You know what I mean? You could play that anywhere. You could play that Kmart, Walmart, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that was the deal with. But with real hip hop, they were saying, he was saying that you can't really play that. The real hip hop, the true like gritty hip hop, you couldn't play it on the radio. It's not something that's safe. It would attack the status quo. Public Enemy would, even though they had commercial success and stuff like that, they were still saying some very, you know what I'm saying?
Of course,
yeah. NWA, even though, drugs and gangster music was in it was still hip hop because it was fuck the police, you know what I'm saying? So, and Drake does not attack that a lot of the times. He might mention it in quotation, you know what I'm saying? But it's not the overall or overarching title of his music, right? And so, with that being said, thought about it some more. And you just got to think about music as a whole. Nothing is really its own genre anymore. It's always branched out. As soon as music is created, as soon as a genre is created, it is already being stretched out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when you look at Drake, what is he? He is the stretched out version of hip hop, pop, whatever, R&B, however you want to do it. And I applaud him because he's done it in a way I don't think anybody could do it. And whatever he touches, I think it's every single time he tries to dip into a different genre, he has made a song that was pretty good in that genre, whether it had been Afro beats or whatever, you know what I'm saying, whether it had been R&B, even this new stuff. What is it? I don't know if y'all know who Yeet is, or I know y'all know who Playboi Carti is. You might know who that is. Yeah. And they got this weird music going on right now with this, it's kind of crazy, whatever. But he has songs like that are doing numbers as well. And it's looking at that, and it's like, damn, whatever he touches is gold. You know what I'm saying? So he's doing something correct. When it comes to hip hop, he has hip hop tracks that are high level. I don't care what nobody says. He's one of the best rappers we've had, top 20 that we've probably heard in terms of lyricism, everything. He has hip hop tracks on his last album. His extended version of his album has multiple really gritty, down to earth hip hop tracks on there that are really good. The songs he has with J. Cole are hip hop tracks, and they're great. You know what I'm saying? So the main thing is, I also get what Mos Def is saying, because Mos Def is damn near the definition.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Of hip hop.
Literally.
You feel me? So it's like, okay, this is the guy. It's not just somebody's grandfather, you know what I'm saying? Some old head saying, no, this is the guy.
Right.
And even when he said it, he didn't want to, he kind of was like, you put me on the spot. I don't want to talk about this in public because this is not a public conversation.
Right.
I'm going to be respectful because you are asking me. And I'm going to be, like he said, and he came out with a response saying he did it as diplomatic as possible. He didn't mean nothing bad by it. I was asked a question. This is what I thought. And it's not, it makes sense. He basically said he was like a mall or something, like a, come on, one for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody, you can get something out of Drake. You get, if you're the audience and you're looking for this, you can get it out of Drake. You know what I'm saying? No matter what it is.
Mhm.
And that makes sense, man. I mean, but at the same time, if he had to dip into it and make a pure hip hop album, I bet money it would be great, like fantastic. You know what I'm saying? If he had to, because he's made great hip hop tracks. So, is he hip hop? Yes. Is he pop? Yes. Is he R&B? Yes. Is he Afro beats? Yes. He's everything.
I to piggyback off you, I consider a hip hop artist having their own lane. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what it is. You know, you could be into pop, you could be into singing and all of that stuff. But if your foundation was hip hop and you could branch off and do other stuff, you hip hop. You have your own lane to me. You know, that's multi-talented.
Yeah.
You know? So that's
especially if we're good at it. Like,
right.
He has great hip hop tracks.
Right.
Some that people can't even touch him on. So yeah, he's hip hop for sure.
Keisha, what you think?
Oh, I think great. I think Drake is great. I think Drake is great. Everything he touches, like you said, is gold. I feel like everything he does, he gets butts in seats. You know, he is definitely someone who has definitely been able to make a career, not just acting, but like with his music. I mean, not just with music, but with his acting that has brought people to see him. You know what I mean? And so I think to question it is crazy to me, because it makes me feel like, why is it that he is not enough? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is it that the hip hop that he has made is not enough? You know, it got to be all hip hop and then you don't change ever. Like, you know, to me, that's where I'm like, why are we putting these constrictions on everybody and holding them to this unrealistic standard, and then trying to make it that you have defined it this way, and then because you have that, therefore this person shouldn't. They're not doing what you think they're supposed. It's like crazy. Like, to me, I think Black people were so dynamic. We have so many different like experiences in lives that we live, that it's frustrating to me that we try to pigeonhole that this is how Black people act. This is what hip hop is, and this is what it is. And if it's not this, it's not right. Like, to me, I'm like, that's so old.
Yeah,
we getting out of that. Like, you know, I don't subscribe to that.
I think our culture need to understand, and I'm pretty sure they know, because it's like, you know, jazz, rock and roll, we did it all. You know, we are rhythm. We created
We are
rhythm.
the tastemakers.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, by you constricting it, man, just shows to my point about Monique, of just how we don't. It's like we don't think. We don't go against the matrix. You feel like, you know, if we go this way, we just go this way. We don't look left to our right. If we just go straight into the fire, we don't look on the side where there's no fire burning or water on the other side. We just look straight, and that's ridiculous, because, man, if you understand how powerful, you know, our motion is, man, we can be very, 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 very impactful.
I'll say this though. It's funny because when Drake came out with that new album, people were like, "Oh, this ain't Drake."
Right.
Too much
I
music,
remember that.
doing too much this, that. And then he came out with the Extended, which had a lot more hip hop on it. It took them to say something about it for him to put the hip hop even more into it. And then everybody's like, okay, this is the Drake we wanted. You know what I'm saying? The whole album should have been this. And so it's the same thing with Mos Def. I think he was trying to say, hey, bro, just show us a little more hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we're more harsh.
Yeah.
We want the best for everybody. It's a harsh way to do it. But to be honest, sometimes that brings out the best in us. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it did for Drake's last album, was that criticism made him put out some high quality hip hop tracks. So it's crazier for us. It's really wild for us sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But we create diamonds when the pressure's on. We create diamonds for real.
Facts. And I understand, because Mos Def is from the era of pure hip hop and everything like that, you know. And I get it. And you need somebody to bring you down to that thing, bringing you down to the base of where you started. But at the same time, you know, reaching other fan bases and reaching other people in different zones of the pop and R&B and rock and roll or whatever, you know, that's when you put the world, that's when you bring the world together. I feel like, it's always good to come back home. For example, I went back home to Florida. It's always good to go back home. Okay, I'm home. I did what I did. Now I'm going back out into the world and showing different other lanes of how I can impact the world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Bring it back home, man. Let it be always about hip hop. Let it be always about hip hop. I would never leave. Home will always be home.
Yeah.
But understand, we don't only have one lane. This world is big as hell.
Yeah, it's huge.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what we need to understand as far as just hip hop artists diving into other things. As long as you keep that razor sharp at home and know remember and know where you come from, you can go out into the world and be the best you can be.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel when it comes to just Drake in his different lanes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Drake is hip hop.
Okay, that's the verdict. Drake is hip hop.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, I want to switch gears
All right.
to Keish Done Said It.
Oh,
It's
shit.
been a minute, man.
Yeah,
It has been a minute. We need to save the world.
Save the world. Whoop, whoop.
All right. So here we go. I want to know what you guys think about this. Whew, Lord. Okay. My boyfriend and I were dating for a little over 6 months. So that's the first thing, 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Things were going great and we were doing really well. While we were dating, I was the one making most of the money, but I never threw it in his face.
Mm-hmm.
He was very supportive and he loved that I was a hardworking woman. He would always tell me that his goal was to retire me, which I was okay with, but wasn't letting that stop me from achieving the goals that I set for myself. I felt like we were a power couple. We encouraged each other and we made time for one another and we looked good together. I got a promotion and out of nowhere, he started complaining about how I wasn't a traditional woman and that he was a traditional man. He began to nitpick about things I was doing and not doing, and it led him to break up with me. This seemed to come out of nowhere. Do you think this is jealousy or is there another woman? Because all of a sudden he wants to get back together.
I'll start real quick. I hear this from a lot of dudes. It's kind of crazy. You're not a traditional man if you ain't taking care of your girl like wholeheartedly, like paying for everything.
Big facts.
Everything. Like dead that in your head right now. You can't call yourself traditional if you're. And I know you like what? What are you talking? No, like think about it, bro. Traditional man is like he took care of everything. His wife stayed at the house. She was a housewife.
Right.
Like
she didn't have to touch a bill a day.
Nothing, bro. She had to cook, clean, chill out the house all day. Like really, like for real. So.
Not just chill at the house, but all right.
I know what you mean.
I'm just saying.
But stop saying that, bro. If you're not paying for everything, and look, I'm the 50. I love 50-50. You know what I'm saying? How like, you know what I mean? I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? Now I would also do the housewife stuff if I had the money for it. You feel me? But you know what I'm saying? Being realistic, a lot of us can't do the whole housewife thing. We have to do the 50-50. So I'm on both sides on that. But if you want to label yourself as a traditional man, your girl you have to pay for everything, bills, clothing, basically, you know what I'm saying? She takes care of the house, whatever, cooks, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But you have to pay for the majority. His girl pays for everything. I mean, not pays for everything, but she makes more than him. Yeah. You're not going to be traditional, bro. Like that's dead. It's over with right there. So that's where you have to stop with that part. I don't know if it's another girl. It might be jealousy, honestly. A lot of dudes really hate that. They really hate that shit.
It could be jealousy, but I would say ego too.
Yeah, ego, definitely.
Ego too.
Okay.
It could be jealousy, but definitely ego.
That makes sense.
Yeah. You know, oh, you done?
Yeah.
Okay. So I agree with Kel wholeheartedly. I mean, you know, the economy is different now. The world is different now.
Yeah,
you can't pay. Gas is not 85%. I mean, 85 cents. Right. You know, it's like damn $4. You know, houses.
Milk is not 15 cents. It's not 5 cents.
Facts.
You about to say something, Kel, real quick?
Yeah, because like you were saying, like the economy makes you most men automatically non-traditional. That might be dead. I ain't gonna lie. Like it's gonna be, it's hard pressed. Like you gotta be like 10% of men in order to be a traditional dude today.
I'm telling you. You know,
most of the niggas who saying they are definitely not. You know what I'm saying? So
facts, big facts. You know, what I was saying. Yeah. So it's like how you could buy a house for 400 something thousand or 300 something thousand. Houses back in the day cost like $15,000. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different world. So by you being traditional, you have to make at least 6 figures, man, to be real with you, to be real. And I'm on, both sides with it. If I had the money, I'd be a traditional man all the way. I wouldn't want no woman to work and be out there in the world and everything like that. And if they want to, they could. If they want to, they could. I'm not knocking that off. But if I had the money, the wife just make sure the house good, the kids are straight, make sure you taken care of, and I'll take all the heavy lifting. And I'm also with Kel on that 50-50 because obviously the world is not set, is kind of set up in a way of everybody pretty much got to work in the house, on a average Joe basis. So is it jealousy? I don't think so. Is it ego? Hell yeah. It's definitely ego. I feel like what breaks a man down is not able to provide for his woman or his family. I think that's the main thing. That's all we do. We want to just provide, protect, and smash. Now, I'm gonna just be real. I'm gonna just keep it a bean, But true. If we can't do those things, if our woman is making more than us, and if we working at a fucked up job or whatever, and if we can't be that traditional dude that you want to be, then it breaks us down, and we have an ego problem and all of that stuff. Me personally, if my woman is bringing more than me, baby, I got your clothes ironed for you. You know what I'm saying? I got shit. Cause I'm not finna fuck up my family because of my ego. What you gonna do is, as a man, get off your ass, find a new job, work 2 jobs, work 3 jobs, whatever the fuck, however jobs you wanna work to make you feel or soften up your ego a little bit because you mad because your girl doing more, then do it. But it shouldn't be no reason why, you break up with your girl or get an argument with her or whatever just because she's making more than you.
I mean, yeah, it opens up a lot of doors, right? Like you might start thinking, well, she might be fucking with somebody else because she got more money than me. You know what I'm saying? Like she basically gives her the opportunity to
then you got the wrong one.
Fuck off, you know what I'm saying?
You got the wrong one.
We gonna be like, hell, I'm making like millions. I could fuck off. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't doing nothing.
You got the wrong one. Because honestly, bro, if you got the right one, bro, like she don't give a fuck about none of that.
Exactly. It's a lot of projecting. A lot of that shit is projecting. Like when a dude feels like that because of a female making more money, they project what they would do if they was in their situation. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
right.
That's why the ego comes in. That's why they be feeling like that.
I'm telling you, be in love with your best friend, but you don't have to worry about none of that shit.
You gotta come down to earth. You don't want to be like Iman and Tiana Taylor. You know what I'm saying? So
man,
be careful.
What? Okay, Kel, you just said what? You said that if he was basically thinking that she's
if
the
he was
one,
in her position, he feel like he could fuck off. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wow.
But if the female,
certain dudes don't put us all in there like that now.
No, but I want to say to his point, I can somewhat kind of see that like maybe he would think like, oh, like for me,
what you mean?
if I was the one making the most money, I'd be doing that. That is bad though. Oh my.
I'm saying that's what I'm saying.
I mean, okay.
I think that's the security that gives us the belief that we can do whatever we want is because we provide everything. We have the power. You know what I'm saying? That's the underlying ideology.
But you got to
stay grounded though. You know what I'm saying? That shit can kind of fuck you up. And this is for men who aren't really grounded. They kind of have this ideology where I can get away with this shit. Mm-hmm. I got, I'm taking care of everything. What you gonna do? You gonna leave me? Facts. You gonna cry in a Honda or you gonna cry in the Porsche? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. But you also
see, you know what I mean? That's where that shit comes from. You
but that's true. That is true. But you also, I think men are also scared of like their women making more than them because it's like, damn, she felt like I can't protect her or provide for her. And she gonna look out. She gonna look for other.
Fuck off.
She gonna fuck off and do other things.
Yeah, this other nigga can do it. So she gonna leave me for this other nigga. So hitting his head, he like, oh fuck that. I ain't
right.
nigga, you know what I mean?
Yeah, if you don't know it, but like I said, you know, if you, I tell everybody this because this is exact situation I'm in now, not the exact situation. Not the exact situation. Don't get it fucked up. But nah, man. Just being in love with your best friend can make life so fucking easy. I'm talking about easy. Money is not even a factor
at all. Bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like on some real shit, I would not tell y'all nothing y'all can't use. Bro, before you get into relationship, women, before you get into a relationship, just talk to people. Have good relationships with people.
Know that nigga. Like,
know that girl, know that nigga.
Acting like it'll be okay because he throwing you money. Fuck that. You got to know that nigga, man.
Facts.
I'm telling y'all, it's shit's so simple, but y'all want to rush in this shit so crazy.
So
like,
crazy.
Sit your ass
what
down.
The relationship goals and all that other shit, that's going to come. All I'm saying is once you do that, once you accomplish that first step of just developing a friendship, not a relationship, a friendship, and y'all decide to go together, I guarantee you, I swear to God, y'all wouldn't even care who makes more, who makes less, because at the end of the day, y'all are a team and y'all working towards life goals and situations for each other. If I don't got it, you got it. If you got it, if I don't have it, you have it. If you, the fuck,
yes,
you get what I'm saying? Oh, fuck. Yeah. So all I'm saying is,
just like how you say, what? Specific?
Pacific Ocean. Yes, I think
we get it.
Shit.
No, we get it. Definitely sounds to me like an ego thing for sure. Yes, I think jealousy is like a form of, but I think definitely ego. It seems like an ego thing because all of a sudden now he wants to get back together. My first thought was he got another woman because it's like maybe he has somebody in his ear that was like, talking, oh, baby, I would never, oh my goodness, like whatever, I don't know. So it was the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, maybe there's another woman when I was thinking, because I was like, well, that doesn't sound, but then again, as you guys broke it down, it does sound potentially like more of like an ego thing.
That's all it is, honestly. I feel like, ego thing.
Well, there you have it. It seems like it might be an ego thing, but let us know what you guys think. Is it an ego thing? Is it another woman? We might need to put a poll so we can see what are people thinking, because I'm curious. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. We would love to know. And make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, of course.
And because we didn't really introduce ourselves at the beginning, y'all already know what it is, man. It's your boy, Kel.
Most definitely. It's your boy, DJ 9D.
And it's your girl, Keisha.
And this is The Bridge ATL 2024.
2024,
yes,
definitely.
Yes, back. Feels good to be back, man.
It does. Peace.